So you may know who I am, but you may not know what exactly this is. And I was going to just take a second to talk to you guys about my favorite piece of technology in this practice, and it's called a BioPack. So this is an actual EMG reader. And what I mean by an EMG is an electromyograph, whatever, Google it. But what it does is it actually reads your muscle activity, point blank and simple. So we help a lot of patients with pain, mainly TMJ, but mostly headaches, especially headaches of this region, muscle fatigue and their masseter muscles in the biting portion here, and then underneath the chin and sometimes in the neck, of course, in the back of the neck. So the EMG here that I have has 8 leads, 4 on each side, that allows me to actually read these muscles in real time. And as you're seeing on the screen down here below, you're going to see these activities as I'm talking to you right now. You're going to see what my muscles are doing in real time. Now, we use this often to diagnose and essentially find out why people are having chronic muscle pain. The other thing that we can do with this guy here is actually manage to watch the jaw as it works. So let me pivot over here to the computer and let me pull this up and I'll show you a couple of things. So in the bottom of the screen here on the lower left side, you'll see that there's 2 red ones, one kind of maroon. That is the temporalis muscle here on the top. The green ones are the masseter muscles, the main chewing muscles here, and the others are the digastrics and the sternocleidomastoids. All that you need to remember from all that really is that these are the 2 main chewing muscles that a lot of times you guys are fatigued by and have headaches from and so on. These allow me to see how you are functioning, how you're swallowing, what you're doing when you do function properly, and then I get to see what kind of effort you're required to use your neck for when you're swallowing and doing other minor things that we typically want to run through and check on. So the goal of using this information is to understand what your bite currently is like, right? So when we know what a good bite is, we can look at someone else's bite and go, are you using way too much muscle during this process of just resting your teeth together? All right, so I'm going to back up, just take a quick second to say this. One of the main things that we have to educate patients on when they come in and they have a lot of pain is the fact that as the upper jaw develops when you're younger, it dictates where your top teeth will ultimately be. Now we can do some orthodontics and some things like that, but it dictates the story, right? And the story is, where does the lower jaw go to line up your teeth? Well, if the lower jaw has to go somewhere it doesn't like, and by it doesn't like, meaning where your muscles have to work to put your lower jaw there, and what your joints have to do in order to maintain that new position of your lower jaw, that can be very aggravating. So a lot of you guys have headaches, especially when you wake up in the morning, you're doing a lot of clenching. Those are the kind of symptoms that we see, and most of the time it's just evidence of muscles that are just being overworked nonstop. So when we do these kind of exercises with patients and we put on the BioPack, we're looking at how the jaw moves in space, we're looking at what muscles are actually being used, and we're seeing if they're in a good position or if they are fatigued in the pathological muscles, right? So, but whenever you are recording this, we want to see what your temporalis muscles, most importantly, these guys, what are they doing? Because it's your posturing muscle, and it's mostly requiring you to bite up and back. So anytime we have somebody that has a lower jaw it's being predicated or forced to stay back in order to match the teeth up, it can be very painful and intolerable to the muscles. But the goal is to look at someone's bite and go, where is it? I've seen people that have EMG somewhere around 12 microvolts, 14 microvolts, and a good bite is typically around 2, right? So we're able to find out whether or not patients have a good bite, or is their muscles working in such a way as to bring the teeth together, but they're very upset about it. That's what we use all of these leads to really do. The second thing we do is we track this in space. So if I click over here, and actually, I didn't show you guys this, but here's my bite in real time. Now, if I squeeze real hard, you see the muscle activity increase. So we use this to find a good rest bite position. And that's when I start to help patients, because once we know where your bite needs to go, meaning where your lower jaw is trying to align itself for the sake of your muscles and joints, we can then begin to understand the discrepancy between where your top teeth are and where your bottom teeth fit. And we can begin to work on a plan that put the 2 together in harmony with your muscles and joints. That's essentially what we do here at Breathe Modern Dentistry and how we help so many of you guys out of pain. We jump out here and we can go to range of motion, for instance. So this is very helpful for patients who have TMJ pain, because as I move in real time, you'll see how I can open, right? It'll measure it. It'll show us whether or not we're moving to the right or to the left. Now, again, I didn't calibrate this on myself, so it's throwing me off some weird numbers. But the goal of me showing you this was just to show that we can actually track your jaw in real time. I can make sure that your condyles and your joints are working the way they're supposed to work. We can begin to diagnose then once we know what the limitations are and what you're doing in real time in your jaw movements. And overall, once we have a synopsis of what you're doing now in your current bite, which is causing the symptoms that you walk in with, we're now able to actually take the time to diagnose the problem. Then we can go back and find a relaxed position where all these numbers are actually in good shape. We work to get your jaw moving straight up and down the way it's supposed to be moving. And once we have that, basically checked, and we practice that before we ever do anything else, we normally get the patients really excited because they're finally feeling the relief that they've always wanted to have. And once we have that, we formulate a plan. We understand now how we're going to get the facial muscles and the joints and the teeth all in harmony. And that's when we come back through and do more dentistry in order to help you guys find a harmonious bite that you can work with for the rest of your life, that won't terrorize itself, that won't beat itself up, because that's often what's happening. And we can actually see successful dentistry take off from there. So anyways, the BioPack, the EMGs, the electromyography, I think I got that right this time. One of the coolest pieces of technology that we have in this practice. If you are someone that's suffering from headaches and TMJ pain, earaches, things of that nature, and ENTs are like, it's not your ears. That's kind of our world, especially headaches in this temporal region on the side of your head. That is something you do not have to deal with and suffer with. I pray that you'd call us and schedule a consultation. We'll talk about what your symptoms are first. We'll go back through, we'll discuss this and see if this is necessary to help us understand what's going on with you. And we'll get to the basics of it. And overall, our goal is just to help you guys. And we really love doing that. So this is my baby. It's my favorite thing we have here in this office. And we have a lot of cool stuff, but nothing has helped me help more patients out of pain, which is the most gratifying thing I do, than this piece of equipment. So if that's you, I'm sorry if you're suffering, but I hope you'll give us a call and we'll talk through this. We'll come up with some solutions, and I'm sure we can get you back on track and feeling the best version of yourself. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about this, and I'll see you guys again probably pretty soon. Thanks, guys.